Okay, so we're continuing with our discussion of the days of Noah and the fallen angels having sexual relations with women at that time. So we've established that they were actually fallen angels. They were called sons of God in Genesis 6. And we just read in Genesis 11:5, but Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. So we see that there's a difference there. He actually says sons of men for human beings, the sons of men. And the female counterpart were the daughters of men. And the sons of God were called the fallen angels were called sons of God. Okay, so now again in Matthew 23:30, for in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels of Yahweh in heaven. So, just to reiterate, people will say this to say that angels can't marry, or they can't have children. Angels in heaven don't marry. But that doesn't mean that disobedient fallen angels don't have sexual relations with women. That's what it said happened. Again, the example is that angels in heaven don't possess a human being, and yet we see many examples of fallen angels, which we call demons in the Bible, possessing human beings. That's what Yahshua and the apostles were often casting out demons because people were possessed by demons, some of them. So fallen angels will do things that good angels in heaven, 2/3 of the angels stayed good. They stayed in heaven. They stayed in the condition and the state that they were supposed to be in, and that was in heaven. 1/3 of the angels, along with Satan, fell and they were cast out, and they became demons in all different conditions, in all different situations, but they were thrown down to the earth, and they were bad. They tried to go against Yahweh in heaven. They're evil. They possess human beings. They do many wicked, evil things. They try to tempt. Satan tried to tempt Yahshua, and they twist the scripture. It says that Satan will appear as an angel of light, even though he's evil and a ravenous wolf underneath in sheep's clothing. So, just because it says that verse in Matthew 22:30 that angels in heaven don't marry, that doesn't mean that fallen angels can't have sexual relationships, or they're not that they're supposed to. It is against Yahweh's will according to Scripture and according to this Scripture, but it doesn't mean that they don't do it. I'm sure Yahweh never wanted them to possess a human being. That's an evil, wicked thing that Yahshua had to cast them out when they would possess. Sometimes many of them will possess one human being. Okay, so now in Jude, let's look at some of the New Testament scriptures that actually show us what happened to these angels. They were evil, they were down on earth doing these evil, wicked things. Their original created condition was in heaven. All of the angels were in heaven, and we don't even know how many there are. Probably billions, millions or billions, who knows how many. But 1/3 of them were cast down with Satan. He was Lucifer, and then he became Satan when he was the adversary and tried to go against Yahweh. And 1/3 of the angels with him. So the good ones stayed up there, and the bad ones, they left their original situation, their original condition, or we could call it their first estate. Sometimes the scriptures talk about it that way. So it says in Jude, the little book of Jude, verse 6, chapter 1, verse 6. And the angels who did not keep their proper domain or their first estate, it says in some translations, but left their own abode. You know, they were in heaven originally. They left it. He, meaning Yahweh, has reserved for them in everlasting chains under darkness for the judgment of the great day. As Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities around them in a similar manner to these, having given themselves over to sexual immorality. So it's saying specifically what their sin was. They left heaven and they got into sexual immorality, and it's immoral for them to have relations with human beings. Or any sexual relationships at all. And they've gone after strange flesh. Right, a human being would be considered strange flesh for an angel who is a spirit being. They are set forth as an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Then it says in the book of Ephesians, verse 6 in chapter 12, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." That's just to remind us what our battle is. As Christians, as believers, we have this battle with spirit. The spirit world is much more difficult than the flesh world. In 1 Peter 3 and verse 18 it says, "For Messiah also suffered once for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Yahweh, being put to death in the flesh, but made alive by the Spirit, by whom also he went," and this was Yahshua when he was dead for 3 full days, he was in the tomb. "He went and preached to the spirits in prison, who formerly were disobedient when once the divine long-suffering waited in the days of Noah." This is talking about the fallen angels. They were disobedient, and they committed that sin in the days of Noah. Go and read this verse yourself. "While the ark was being prepared, in which a few, that is, 8 souls, were saved through water." That's 1 Peter 3:18. Read it for yourself. There's the connection and the proof what happened to those fallen angels. In 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4, it says, "For if Yahweh did not spare the angels who sinned," so that we have established there that there were angels that sinned, "but cast them down to hell." And that word hell is a special word. It only occurs once in the whole Bible. It's Tartaru or Tartaros. And it's a place of holding for the angels. It's not a hell for human beings. It's for fallen angels, for demons. "And delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved for judgment, and did not spare the ancient world, but saved Noah, one of 8 people, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood on the world of the ungodly." So you see the connection between those fallen angels and the time of Noah. It's absolutely solid and right there. Then finally in Revelation 16 and verse 13 it says, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits, like frogs, coming out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are spirits of demons, performing signs which go out to the kings of the earth." Now this is just something that's going to be happening in our time in a few years from now, that the beast, the dragon, and the false prophet, inside of them, they are possessed, these humans, by these demonic spirits which show themselves as frogs. That's the way John, who wrote Revelation, the way he saw them, frogs. What kind of things or beings appear similar to like frogs? I'll jump right to the chase, and that is that it's like aliens. If you look at aliens, all the different types of drawings of aliens, the greens, the grays, they look like frogs. Believe me, I don't believe in aliens from other planets. They are extraterrestrial, but they're demons who actually are on the earth now, but they originally come from off the earth, so they are extraterrestrial, but they're not aliens from other planets. They're demons who are trying to deceive the world. So check those scriptures over again, prove it to yourself, and you'll see that there really was a demonic thing going on at the time of Noah. So what's going on now? And this intermingling of the demon seed, the angel seed with humans, can that be going on now with cloning and all the weird things that's going on with hybrid human beings? It's something to study out more.